Obama introduced on the campaign trail what potentially is a very powerful weapon. Talk show host Oprah Winfrey.
In 2008, a single sentence from this woman was worth over 1 million votes.
South Carolina, I do believe he's the one to bring us the audacity of hope. Barack Obama!
A recommendation from her could turn a forgotten book into a multi-million-dollar bestseller overnight. She could create a celebrity doctor with the snap of her fingers and bring a billion-dollar industry to its knees with a single on-air comment.
Free speech not only lives, it rocks.
For decades, Oprah Winfrey didn't just host a TV show, she directed the world. But this empire of influence wasn't built by accident. It was a machine, carefully assembled piece by piece. And now, we're going to show you how it works. Every empire has an origin story, a moment where the first piece of the machine is put into place. The origins of this empire weren't forged in a boardroom. They were forged in rural Mississippi. Her early environment was a lesson in human struggle, and from that lesson, she created a unique and powerful tool, a deep, almost unnatural ability to understand people's pain. She began her career in television news. Quickly, she moved to Chicago to host a struggling morning show, AM Chicago.
50 cents charge on those calls. Back in a moment.
And that's where the formula was discovered. Her raw talent for emotional connection was undeniable. This empathy became her primary strategic asset. Viewers didn't just watch her, they felt like she knew them.
Now that the world's first embryo transplant baby has been born, what does it mean for women who thought they couldn't have babies?
The station's ratings exploded. The show was quickly rebranded into her own weapon of influence. And in 1986, The Oprah Winfrey Show was born. And with it, the foundation of the empire was set. But connecting with an audience was one thing. To truly direct a nation, she would have to change the entire game.
And you'll meet the woman he loves. Meet Jim McMahon on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
The world of the 1980s daytime TV was a battlefield, a landscape of shouting matches and thrown chairs. Talk shows fought for the low ground, battling over the market through human dysfunction. While her rivals were locked in this war of attrition, Oprah recognized a massive power vacuum, an entire territory of influence that was completely undefended. So, she made her move. She wouldn't just refuse to play their game, she would create a new one on uncontested ground. Her show became a platform for self-help, spirituality, and personal empowerment. This wasn't just a pivot to positive content, it was a calculated occupation of a new market.
You're gay. So what are you gonna do now?
I'm going to Disneyland.
The market of authority. Millions of viewers, tired of the cynicism, were ready to be led. Oprah didn't just offer them an alternative, she offered them a leader. She had cultivated the most loyal and trusting audience in media history. Now, it was time to see what that loyalty could achieve. An audience built on trust is a powerful resource. It's a potential army waiting for a command. In 1996, Oprah decided to test that potential. The first experiment was called Oprah's Book Club. The results were a stunning confirmation of her power. A single on-air mention could resurrect a forgotten book from obscurity. It would sell hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of copies overnight. The test was a success. The Oprah effect was born. This was the beginning of the Kingmaker's touch. But can a Kingmaker's touch become a fist? The answer came in 2005 with the book A Million Little Pieces. Author James Frey became a global star, created entirely by her endorsement. But it was later revealed his memoir was full of fabrications. Her credibility was on the line. The brand was threatened, so she summoned Frey back to her show. What followed was not an interview. It was a public execution.
Don't know what is true, and I don't know what isn't.
She systematically dismantled him in front of 40 million people. In that moment, she discovered a new dimension to her influence. The power that creates can also be used to destroy. She had proven she could control the fate of authors and publishers. But could this influence stand up against a billion-dollar industry, or even the court of law? An untested power can have unintended consequences. The first proof of this collateral damage came from a single, unscripted sentence. In 1996, during a show on food safety, Oprah made a casual remark. After hearing the details of cattle production, she announced to her audience, "It has just stopped me cold from eating another burger."
It has just stopped me cold from eating another burger.
It was a personal comment, but it landed with the force of a market correction. Cattle futures plummeted. The industry was thrown into chaos. In response, a group of powerful cattle ranchers sued her for millions. The lawsuit was a direct attack built on new food disparagement laws, but Oprah's empire, even in its earlier stages, was resilient. She moved her show to Texas for the trial and fought back. Ultimately, she was victorious, but the battle revealed a startling truth about her influence. Her careless words could reshape a billion-dollar industry. Her influence could move markets. Soon, she'd find it could also move minds. In 2004, she was called for jury duty in a Chicago murder trial. She didn't have to say a word. Academic studies later found her mere presence in the room was enough. It fundamentally disrupted the other jurors' ability to weigh the evidence impartially. Her celebrity schema was a form of unintentional, passive manipulation. She had learned the collateral damage of her words and her presence. So what would happen when she began to deliberately aim that influence at the world of science and medicine? As her empire grew, Oprah faced a strategic problem. She wanted to conquer the lucrative world of health and wellness. But she couldn't be everywhere at once. She couldn't duplicate herself. Her solution was not to find a partner. It was to create a proxy. She chose Dr. Mehmet Oz, a respected surgeon. With her endorsement, he was transformed into America's doctor.
So I asked America's doctor, Dr. Oz, to be here because...
A trusted medical authority for tens of millions of people. Oprah had effectively established a viceroy, extending her empire into a new domain. But her solution created a new, dangerous obstacle, the information itself. A 2014 study in the British Medical Journal was damning.
And I'll be interested to see if you're a Dr. Oz or doctors, if you're for the Doctor Show, a hater of them, I think you'll find ammunition in here to support your belief system.
Right.
It found only 46% of the recommendations made on the Dr. Oz show were supported by evidence. His advice was often based on flimsy or non-existent science, but it was broadcast from the world's most trusted stage. This created a phenomenon academics call hype news diffusion. Oprah's initial endorsement created the hype. Other news outlets, chasing ratings, would then amplify the story, and online customer reviews, written by hopeful consumers, would echo the claims. The result was an information cascade that was nearly impossible to stop. This pattern wasn't limited to just one doctor. Her promotion of pseudoscientific ideas like The Secret used the same model. It prioritized belief and feeling over verifiable fact. She had successfully conquered the territory of health and wellness. The last remaining territory was also the most powerful: politics. She had conquered publishing, stared down industry, and redefined wellness. Now, her empire turned its attention to the final frontier of power, the presidency of the United States. In 2007, Oprah made a decision that would shake the political world. For the first time in her career, she made a political endorsement. She threw the full weight of her brand behind a young senator from Illinois. His name was Barack Obama. At the time, he was locked in a fierce primary battle with Hillary Clinton.
I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
The race was razor thin. Every vote mattered. This wasn't just another celebrity endorsement. This was the deployment of a strategic weapon. She appeared with him at rallies, drawing colossal crowds. She leveraged her credibility, framing him as the carrier of a new kind of hope.
South Carolina, I do believe he's the one to bring us the audacity of hope. Barack Obama!
The impact was not theoretical, it was measured. An academic study on the Oprah effect calculated the exact cost of her support. Her endorsement delivered an estimated 1,015,559 votes to Obama. 1 million votes. In a primary decided by the narrowest of margins, this was decisive. Her influence was the deciding factor. She had done more than just help a candidate. She had become a kingmaker. A private citizen with no official power had changed the course of American history. The full extent of her influence was now undeniable. But it left one final, crucial question. How was any of this even possible? Her power was not born from charisma or good television. It was engineered in the careful construction of a human brand. Academic research reveals the formula. Oprah's brand was designed to fulfill 3 fundamental human needs: the need for autonomy, relatedness, and competence. She made her audience feel understood. She made them feel capable, and she made them feel like they were part of a community. This created an emotional bond, a level of trust that was almost absolute. Her power came from building an empire inside the minds of millions. An empire that could reshape industries, sway juries, and make presidents. This is the legacy of the Oprah effect. It reveals the terrifying power of a single, trusted voice in a world engineered for dopamine-fueled distraction. And it leaves us with one final, unsettling question. If one person could build this kind of unelected, unaccountable power, who then is building the next one?